Hi, Griet, and welcome to Slow Secrets, our podcast.
Hello.
I love the pink flamingo in the background.
Yes. Should I go dive on it? It's so like wanting to like just jump on it.
Yeah, for sure. So, how did we meet? A little story. Griet, I think it was Animal, wasn't it? That put us
Yes.
in contact together, and he said, "Oh my God, you guys have got to meet," and
Yes.
and then we evidently did. And then you came as a facilitator to one of the slow food and yoga festivals, and
Mhm.
yeah, I really actually love what you do. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, sure. So I guess my story started about 8 years ago. I'll focus on the entrepreneurship story. Um, I was working in a company, a really cool company, cookie company in Belgium, and I noticed a lot of people were doing sports. They were going running in the afternoon or ping pong, and I started doing all these activities, and I noticed that that created a really cool culture, and I loved working there and doing sports with all these people,
Nice.
and it grew. The community grew, and we'd be having food together, and um, that built and built and built. And then they wanted some software in the company to actually connect people through their passions, and I loved that idea. And at that time, the job I was doing there, I had to do the same job for another 2 years, and I got a bit bored. I really want to grow in at whatever I do,
Yeah.
and then I said, well, let's take a jump. And I quit that job. And I thought, well, let me try if I can be this job of bringing people together in companies in the beginning around sports or well-being. And
Nice.
that's how my journey as an entrepreneur started. One day to the other, I kind of became entrepreneur, went to companies and asked, would you hire me? And I literally went with that vulnerability. I think how I can motivate your teams. I think I can see what a passion is in someone, and I believe that can help you and your business because I've seen it. Would you want to pay me for that? And then I built a system, and what am I going to do? How am I going to connect these people? And there's hundreds of people or thousands of people. How am I going to do it? And then in the beginning, I also had a freelance job in marketing, but then I stopped that job, and then I went full on for Move It then. And the first project was helping people in an IT company to sit less. It was amazing.
Nice.
It was, yeah, it reminds me of the festival feel, bringing people together through their passions. It's the most fulfilling job thing there is in the world.
Yeah.
Everyone's like enjoying it, meeting new people, feeling like a kid again.
Yeah, absolutely. So entrepreneurship, it's such a big word, right? What is entrepreneurship
Mm.
for you?
Hmm. That's a really good question. I I just remember after I quit my job and I started doing this, I came home. I finally felt belonging in
Yeah.
something. And for me, I think it's that feeling of I'm quite good in the unknown. I'm quite good in figuring it out along the way, and that's something I love that you shared in one of our videos. You jump off a cliff and you sew your
Yes,
parachute, and
exactly.
that is for me is the same feeling. Like I like sports. I like you don't know how your muscles gonna grow if I can do this flip or not. Entrepreneurship just feels the same. It makes me feel alive,
Yes.
and it's unpredictable, and I love that part of it. And you meet cool people, and somehow I feel with entrepreneurship, I can use my whole potential.
Yeah.
Like my business grew, and first it was a job, then I learned to hire people, then I learned to coordinate software, make software, work with the government, and it grew and grew and grew, and it's
Yeah.
still growing. I'm making houses now, and I wouldn't have this in a typical job. I think I would be in one industry, and with this entrepreneurship, I've been in traveled the world and seen all these
Variety.
industries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, entrepreneurship is like jumping off a cliff and sewing your parachute on the way down. Because a lot of
Yes.
people, like, I remember the first time somebody told me, I'm an entrepreneur. And I thought, what's that? You know? And now, 10 years later, I'm like, yeah, I am definitely an entrepreneur, you know? And it's so
Mm,
freeing to just be like, okay, I have a vision and I'm gonna try and make it like that. And then,
mm.
I love that quote where you like see like this is like your plan, and then you have like Everest, and then big ocean, and then rocks, and this is actually reality, but you get there too eventually.
Yes. And yes.
What I love about your way of entrepreneurship, I think is what inspired me the most about you, is that you do conscious entrepreneurship. So, what is conscious entrepreneurship?
It's a good question. I'm like, oh yeah, I do that. I try that. I guess for me, it started with the word energy, I guess. And I started looking a couple of years ago, like, how do I keep my energy up? Because after a couple of years, I almost burned out with all my to-do lists and all my perfectionism.
Yes, it
So,
is true. It
you
is
know,
real. It is there. It is lurking
mm,
at you, the burnout.
yes. And for me, that was at a time where I was supposed to help companies with their health and well-being.
Well
So that was
being,
double on.
slow down. What's my name?
Yes. And I looked for help because I'm like, this isn't happening. I found my dream company and now I'm gonna burn out. No.
No.
So I went to this business class in London, and he said, ditch all your to-dos. And I'm like, but then how do I get stuff done?
Yeah,
And then I got into law of
a
attraction,
flow.
setting goals, working differently. I went to Thailand. I did Reiki healing, and I think that's how I got into the consciousness path and started understanding there's some computer here with belief systems that affect how I walk through life. And business is like a magnifier glass. So if I don't make sure these are correct, then
Yes.
I'm gonna have the same situation come back in different relationships. And that I knew that quite quick. I had to fix that first. So I started writing all my thoughts for years until I knew I had thoughts that only served me. Because I was
Yes.
like, hands on, I need to clean this. And that's where my consciousness, and then I got into tantra where I could actually practice what I did with myself for many years with someone who is there for the purpose of playing, because it can be a bit of a
Yes.
mind fuck if you do it with someone who does know what you're doing, I guess, or
Yeah.
like I believe I'm not my thoughts, so if I play with someone,
Yes.
yeah, it's a very subtle journey,
Yes, for
and
me
then
as well.
doing it in business, yeah.
I think for
So I'm very
me,
curious for you.
it's a
Yeah.
lesson of life to do everything, every single thing in full consciousness, and
Mm.
that's how I remain balanced.
Yeah.
And well, obviously, to slow everything down and rethink your
Mm.
speed of life and being more efficient and
Mm.
choosing your yeses, your nos, and yeah, that's kind of
Mm.
how I do it.
What I really like about you is that also when we met in the beginning, you have so many projects going on. You have this beautiful retreat village, luxury hotel. You have the festival. You have so many stuff going on. You always have so many people you're working, and you're always energized. And I really also admire that in you. I know that I have my limits sometimes in the number of interactions I can handle in a day. And so you're beautifully having that slow feel, and then still it looks really fast,
Yeah.
like fast in a way. You have that slow, and you can bring it with everyone. That's how it
Yes.
looks like, of course. I know it's a lot of work and
So my
training, probably, but
friends always used to tell me, "How do you do it?" I mean, all of it,
mm,
you know? And
mm,
then I was like, well, it's all about the tribe. It's not me doing it. You know, I have an
mm,
awesome team that aligns with my
mm,
vision and that wants to create magic with me. And I think I've always been in such a masculine energy of doing things and getting shit done and like project, next, success. But then I was like,
mm.
my feminine is dormant. But actually, I realized writing my books, not at all, actually. My feminine is actually what was running the show. Oh, there is the flamingo.
I
The
know, I just
feminine
got confused. It's just moving.
flamingo. Yes, he agrees. So I had this like vulnerability is sexy and this motherhood energy
Mm,
of compassion and empathy and making sure that every single staff of mine was happy, every single person I was working with was happy, and that I was happy because happiness was
yeah,
contagious. And then evidently, the customers would be happy and it would just create this huge ripple effect. And yeah, that's how we
yeah.
became number one on TripAdvisor for 6 years. And from then, just everything exploded. Because once you have one successful business, you can just branch it around. And yeah, I mean, you got to walk the talk. You can be like, oh, slow down. And I put it everywhere so that I remember because I'm
Mm,
definitely not slow. I need to remind myself every day to get on that
mm,
mat and do the work and like work on myself so that I can care for all of that, you know, family as
For
a, as
sure.
as a mother. Sounds a bit cheesy.
it it does feel like that. Like there's
Yeah,
so many people you're taking in account all the time, and then there's also yourself. And
yeah,
then how does that all work out? And is the win-win always there?
yes.
So yeah,
So I
cool.
like how you categorize it as the 6 pillars of entrepreneurship.
Mm. Yeah, that's actually that came recently. So I actually because last year I was looking for an investor, and one of the big challenges was that over all through the years I learned to do a lot myself because I noticed to coach my teams and work with people, to work with software people, to work with now building property, I needed to understand their language, and if I can talk the language of the people I work with, it's so much easier
Yeah.
to communicate. So I learned a lot myself, and so they're like, oh, you can't run multiple businesses at the same
Of
time. No
course you
investor is
can.
gonna invest in that. And I was like, sure you can. Like it's the same thing. Like it was so hard to explain that. And then I'm a person like if someone tells me you can, I get very challenged and I want to like
I
focus on
will.
that. So I was like, well,
You watch me.
yeah, and there's so many successful entrepreneurs who do multiple and yeah.
Yeah.
So then at that moment I somehow got onto a productivity coach, even though I'm quite productive already. I wanted to get better, even better, like
Yeah.
4-hour work week with 6 businesses. How do I get everything moving forward? And then I made a system that for each business, I needed to do 1 to 2 minute habits of 6 parts of the business every day. So 6 businesses, 6 parts, 1 to 2 minutes. That was 2 or 3 hours a day. And for months, I trained myself like I would do gymnastics. And that's where the 6 areas kind of came from, like the finance, the sales part, marketing part, the R&D part, customer service, and corporate governance. And I've done most of it for all the businesses I've run, which is cool because I can really empathize with people who are doing it now.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Mm,
something I think we both have in common is the importance of truly feeling seen and heard within an
mm,
organization. So, I remember I worked for 70 plus people. So, they're like, but you say they do their job right, but why you say that it's good? It's their job, they're meant to be doing it good. You know, I'm like, oh my
mm.
God. I'm like,
Okay.
oh my God, shoot me now. Like, this
Okay.
is supposed to be motivating or like, no.
That's indeed, yeah. Yeah, that's indeed that way of thinking that it's a job for money, so the money's enough. But I've also seen, like when in Belgium we were attracting people, we'd never have an issue attracting people, but the companies we worked for would have an issue attracting people, for example. But people don't care about the money that much. It's really important. It's really important. You want to pay people well, but the culture around it is so
So
much
much more
more of
important.
having people for sure stay on the long term than the money. Of course, the basics need to be there. It needs to be. I've always intended paying more than average
Yeah.
salary, and that's almost like just a foundation. But if
Yes.
all the rest isn't there, there's like that's not. I wouldn't want to work like that.
No.
Then it's a
I do the
really
complete
basic
opposite.
transaction.
Complete
Yeah.
opposite. Like, first of all, I say we create magic and then the finances
Mm.
just follow automatically, you know? And I had 3 pillars. The first one is everyone has to be happy because happiness is contagious. The second one was honest resting times. So
Mm.
if they were working for a long time for me, they'll get double the days off. So I'd give them an
Okay.
extra day. And
Nice.
the third one is like the longer they worked for me, the more money they made. So they'd make like double eventually as
Mm.
at the neighbors. And then,
Nice.
it just flows.
Yeah. If the incentives are good and you've thought about it,
Yes.
yeah, super nice.
Yeah, if I win, you win. We're a team. We do this
Yeah.
together. So support and
Nice.
guidance. Uh, but you're more like in the digital online jungle. I'm more like on an island. so, so yeah, I think we're an awesome team.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been in the digital jungle now a couple of years, and it's really cool to have your hands-on experience too. Because after a while, it does get lonely only working online and
Yes.
working with people. Like I want to give someone a hug. They have a bad
Yeah.
day. I want to get a hug when I have a
Yeah.
bad day. That's really hard to do online. You can do a lot online, but I believe like a hybrid solution is really, really cool, where there's people working together and then you spread your wings around the world and you work together. And yeah,
Yes, this is what we're
that's,
trying to set up together. This is the magic that Griet and I are creating. So if you are listening or watching and you want to hear more, reach out for our entrepreneurship internship, move slow, because
12 weeks of fun.
yes.
And
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I'm checking in with myself. For sure, there's a gazillion questions I would want to ask. What's the weather like with you in Gili right now?
It's
Maybe a
beautiful.
strange
So
question.
April,
I can.
May, June is my favorite absolute time of the year because it's after rainy
Okay.
season. So everything is super green. The sky is starting to be super blue. The ocean is blue, and occasionally you still have like a big black storm passing by, and you can see like the storm on the ocean passing by, and it's not too busy because it's not high season. It's also not low season, so there's already people coming back, and the climate is, well, 30 degrees all year. But yeah, this is definitely my
Nice.
favorite because it's not dusty, it's green. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. Cool, cool.
Merci, mon petit chéri.
Merci. On peut encore parler un petit peu de français.
I send you so much love from the island.
Thank you.
Bye. Slow secrets.